I woke up this morning with a vlogging compulsion. I was able to stave it off for most of the day. Well, obviously I've succumbed, but I kept myself busy this morning, did some things around the house, rode my exercise bike for a while, which is back here, watched some TV in this direction on the online, and then went and did some grocery shopping, post office, coffee shop. Kept myself busy. Coffee shop. Got myself some beans for my French press. So anyway, I came home, put the groceries away, and then came online, checked out Vloggerheads, and I see that we're back to normal, back to the bickering. It's just like old times. So hey, it's just like old times. I can succumb to that vlogging urge, and so I am. And I have a prop. Film. It's a film case. It has 8mm films in it, reels, large reels, like 5-inch reels. Got some 3-inch reels. Those are my dad's. There are more upstairs. I've got about 7 or 8 of the large ones, probably more than a dozen of the small ones. And I've been wanting to convert them. I'm wanting to digitize them. My plan was to do them on a screen and then take a video and then make files out of them. But then I got to thinking, you know what? Have somebody do them. Get digital representations. I found a place that does frame by frame. And I actually found it through Groupon. And a $75 Groupon got me a $250 package. So I got 2 of those. So for $150, I'll have 7 or 8 of those big reels, half a dozen of the small reels done. And then a couple extra dollars, I'll have some, those will go to DVD. A couple extra bucks, I'll have some data DVDs made, so I can then take the files and edit them if I'd like. So that's what I'm going to do. I have a project. Let's see what else. Oh, Tech and Mech. So film, Tech, and Mech. January, Tech and Mech month for me. Tech being Windows 8. I've never been happy with Windows 8 since I got my desktop a year ago at Thanksgiving. Just haven't been. And then for several months, good 3 to 6 months, I had some updates that just would not install for Windows 8. 2 of them, and then a third one finally. And so I said, screw that. And I contacted Microsoft. They said, go to the help desk. We'll initiate a session. So I did. Handed over control of my desktop to them for 4.5 hours on a Friday back early January. 4.5 hours, he could not get Windows updates to work. At the end of the day on Friday, he said, I'll have someone from the next tier call you tomorrow morning and they'll take over and they'll fix it for you. And I said, what about Windows Store? I want to upgrade to 8.1. Even if it's a free upgrade, you have to get that through the Windows Store. And your fancy start screen with those tiles, those apps don't work. It's all screwed up. He says, all right, well, we'll take care of that too. Okay. Next day, 8 o'clock, guy calls me, and he has control of my computer for 5.5 hours. 5.5. So 10 hours total by the time he's done. He ended up reinstalling Windows because he couldn't get that update to work either. Reinstalling Windows, and it took like 3 attempts to install Windows before he finally got it done. So I said, what about Windows Store so I can get that free upgrade? He goes, oh, you should be all set. But if you have a problem, just start a new ticket and we'll take care of it. Yeah. I had a problem. Monday, I called, and 1.5 hours handing over control of my computer till finally got it fixed, screwed around with my registry, got it fixed, and he initiated the download for the Windows 8.1 upgrade. So, handed control back over to me, I finished the upgrade, and so now I'm good to go. If you want to call it that, because 8.1 is no better than Windows 8, and so I'm not any happier than I was before, but at least it's doing the updates. They were important updates, you know, security issues, so at least those are working. Yeah, I know, buy a Mac. Yeah, I'm not going to put the money out, I'm just going to complain. Okay, Mac would be auto. Last week, I was going to drive to Ypsilanti, Michigan, right near between Ann Arbor and Detroit, for my aunt's memorial service. 10-hour drive, but you know, I could do that in a day. So I left out last Thursday morning around 7 o'clock, got 33 miles, my car died. AAA towing package is the basic package is first 3 miles are free. After that, it's $3 a mile. So I called a tow anyway because I got to get the car fixed. The guy gets there, and all the while I could start the car. I just did not have any throttle. It was just real low idle, no gas pedal. Shut the car off. The guy comes, start the car up. The message is gone. I could drive the car. Well, I let him tow me back because hell, what do I know what's going to happen? Tows me back to the dealer. $100 for the tow. Yeah. Fixed it. I was out of there by 1 o'clock. Yeah, throttle body. Several $100s later, throttle body. So I thought, 10-hour drive, I could still make it midnight their time. So I'll do it. Memorial service is Friday at noon, So I head out, get to just short of Terre Haute, maybe 30 miles from there, and it does it again. Pulled over, call the dealer and says, hey, what am I going to do here? He says, call the 800 number for GM roadside assistance. They'll tow you to the nearest dealer. They'll service it, and you've got a 12-month warranty on the parts and labor for that part, if it's the same part. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, and if it's not, I'm going to pay that tow package. So I sat there on the side of the interstate for about 5 minutes, turning it off and on, until one time I turned it on, and I had a gas pedal. Drove to the next exit, made a reservation at a hotel, drove to Terre Haute, stayed overnight. First thing in the morning, went to the dealer, and I was out of there by 11 o'clock. Yeah. Throttle body. Yep, they replaced the throttle body. Guy says, you've got a bad oil cap. It's letting moisture in. Well, I just had the oil changed a couple days before. I wasn't quite ready, but I thought I'll do it before the trip. So it must have been a seal that was bad, and once they took that cap off, I lost the seal, or else they cracked the cap. How am I going to know? And, the cold air rushing in, condensation. You could see it. He showed me inside the throttle body. It was gummed up, how oil looks like when it's got water in it. Same in my engine block. Now, he omitted mention of that moisture problem. So I got the labor for that and part, no charge for that. But I had to pay to have the fuel system taken care of, serviced, and a new oil cap. So it still cost me a couple $100. So now, 11 o'clock, the memorial service is noon. No way I'm going to make the 5-hour drive and get up there after everybody's walking home. So I canned it. Including the side trip from there to Cleveland to see my son's family before coming home. Because just finishing that loop and coming back home is 1,200 miles, So I drove the 300 miles home just in case. And going to be driving to Kansas City in a couple weeks, so that was a good road test, right? Yeah, no problem. Been driving all week, no problem. So I had an adventure. Yep. So there you go. That's my vlogging compulsion fulfilled. Film, tech, and mech. I'm going to stay away from the bickering. Ciao, folks. Vlog on.